we've made it to Sunday, the last day of 1 week of goal setting awesomeness. I'm just back from a run. I had an epic run. All the training is actually paying off. But while I was running, I couldn't help but think about the hundreds of thousands of people in Australia who are suffering right now through those forest fires. The whole country is burning. It is the most horrific crisis. And I felt so racked with guilt when I was running because I thought, how can I be worrying about my fitness and my health and my new business when there's people who've lost their homes, when there's 500 million animals that have died? And I think this is the crux of what today's video is about. And it's really the challenge of our lifetimes because let's be honest, I'm 41 and I've been living through one of the best times of human history. We live longer, we have access to everything we need, including global information. There's hardly any war. Life is pretty good for humans these days. And yet we're facing one of the biggest global crises that the world has ever faced, and we are to blame. It's very hard to be a human and try and live a happy life. We're being trained to want more and buy more and do more, and yet everything we buy and do tends to have a negative impact on the very planet that we love. And to be honest, I don't really know how to resolve that in my own mind. But what I do know for sure is that there's two things that make for a truly fulfilling life. The first is growth, and that's what we've been doing together. It's learning to do more and be better and grow as a human being. And the second is contribution. This is where I've got a lot of work to do. I spent the first 40 of my years of my life just worrying about me. And I'm very much in the space now of being able to start giving back in some small way. So my challenge for you today is just to have a look at all the goals that we've made for the year and then see if there's ways that we can tie those goals into something a bit bigger than ourselves. Maybe some of you are doing that already because I know a lot of people are wanting to be healthier so that they can live longer and look after their children. Others are building small businesses so that they can provide for their family. And that's already a beautiful contribution and it's to be respected. But for somebody like me who doesn't have children, my scope's got to be to my family, maybe my community, and if I'm really ambitious, globally. What can I do on a global scale that will have some small impact to feel like I left the world better than I found it? Which is much easier said than done because every time I turn on the news, my heart breaks. But I know that this balance of self-growth and contribution will be where the true fulfillment of my life lies. So let's be cognizant of the global picture. Let's build lives and careers that are in service of a conscious, ethical, responsible way of being in the world. And with that in mind, let's look back over the week to see what we've covered over the last 7 days. There was a lot. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and you haven't got all the tools, it's okay because really goal setting is just 3 things. 1, know what you want. 2, know why you want it. And 3, create a strategy around how you're going to get there. And then, of course, it's just action, 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 action. And the big takeaway for this week that everybody seems to be resonating with is the idea that you have to go slow to go fast. If you want to create a 30-minute meditation practice, then commit to just 3. Make it small, make it manageable. Go slow to go fast. And today when I was running, I had the perfect experience of this because I am such a competitive runner. I will literally try and take over anybody that's in front of me. And what happens? By the 5th kilometer, I'm already starting to burn out. So my new training strategy is to run at an incredibly low heart rate, which is mortifying for my ego because I'm running so slowly. But now I can run for 10 kilometers before I start to fatigue. So there's the lesson. To achieve your goals in 2020, break them down into really small, manageable, bite-sized pieces. Eat the elephant 1 bite at a time. Great, so let's review this week. And if anybody's missed any of the videos, no problem. Take your time, 1 bite at a time. Get to those videos when you're ready. But this is what we've covered. 1, we dreamt really big and then we narrowed our dreams down to 3 to 5 goals that we want to achieve in 2020. We then got super specific. We made it measurable, rewardable, and empowering. Next up, we created a strategy around those goals, keeping in mind that we need to be flexible. It didn't really matter how we're going to get there, as long as we got there in the end. We're playing the long game. And on that note, we then chose somebody to be accountable to, somebody that we could check in with regularly, once a week or once a month, somebody whose sole focus was making sure that we stayed on track, no matter what happened, even in the bad times. We chose role models who are already living the kind of life that we want to lead, and we committed to following them, dedicating ourselves to learning from them. We took stock of the people around us in our everyday lives, and we looked at who's holding us back. And then we resolved to make sure that we would surround ourselves by the people that elevate us, support us, and are living to the higher standard that we want to achieve. We looked at our superpowers and our kryptonite, and we decided we were going to slay the headworms. We chose to make ourselves our top priority. And by priority, that meant we came first in the day. And we started building a daily ritual that would ensure that we set ourselves up for success. In that daily ritual, we included a gratitude practice, which at bare minimum meant just every day writing down the 3 things we're grateful for. Those things would keep us present, focused, and grateful for what we had right now, so we weren't always thinking about just what we want in the future. And as a bonus, we began to look at a visualization practice. Again, just a couple of minutes every day where we get inside and we imagine ourselves achieving the goals, and we're grateful for them as if they've already been achieved. We committed ourselves to mastery of the things that we wanted in our lives, to dedicated, consistent, and repeated action, 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 action. And we made sure those actions were so small and so manageable that there was no way we couldn't achieve them in a day. And lastly, today we've looked at creating our goals in service of something bigger than ourselves. Whether it's just for our family, our community, or the world at large, we're tying in our goals to make sure that they serve a greater picture and that we can leave a legacy that we're truly proud of. It's been an absolute pleasure to put these videos online for you every day. And that's the classic win-win of contribution. I put the videos on for you, but in fact, I was learning and I benefited from all of it. So thank you so much. I've loved all the comments. I've loved all the WhatsApps. I've loved all the direct messages. I love seeing people take action so that they can achieve their goals. It is the most fulfilling part of what I do. So don't stop. If you have any questions, please go ahead and get hold of me. It doesn't matter when in the year. I don't even care if it's November and you're 1 month away from the end of 2020 and you really want to achieve your goals. Get hold of me. I will do whatever I can to help you. Now, don't think you're getting away today without a challenge. This one is probably my top tip. If you do nothing else from this whole course, do this one thing. It's as simple as this. Write down your 3 to 5 goals in the simplest possible terms. In fact, ideally, just one word for each goal that will trigger the memory of what the whole goal is. Write them down and put them somewhere where you can see them as often as possible every day. I actually go onto PicMonkey, which is a free design software, and once a year I create myself a little image which I then use as my iPhone screensaver. And in that little image are my top 5 goals. And I do that because every time I pick up my phone, consciously or subconsciously, my mind is reading the 5 things that I committed to at the beginning of the year. And it doesn't matter how slow your progress or how late in the year you start, if you're seeing those same 5 things every day, multiple times a day, for the entire year, you will find a way to make it happen. So guys, you don't have to go on and use an online design program. Just write it out on a piece of paper, take a photograph of it, and use the photograph as your screensaver. If you don't want to put it on your phone, put it on your fridge, put it in the bathroom, put it somewhere where you're going to see it multiple times in a day. I absolutely saved the best for last. If you do nothing else from this week, do today's challenge. It's been a hell of a ride. I've loved being with you guys. I will continue to pop into this group with some juicy information every now and again. And I just want to wish you guys an absolutely wonderful Sunday and a cracker of a 2020. May 2020 be the year that you take on your dreams and you make them a reality.